beautiful lovies of the world, is me, Queen Nightmare, and I am going to read you the fan fiction, You Are My Sunshine. But I also have a shout out today. But, in other words, I am going to read you a Wattpad fan fiction. Well, the Wattpad fan fiction. Chapter 6. Okay. If last year you were in the team, that does not mean you are going to be in the team this year. Is that clear? It was mid-November, and it was raining, lightly. Harry was holding out tryouts for his Gryffindor Quidditch team. He had been branded as the team captain of this year. He was slightly nervous. Nobody was listening to him. They were all talking to themselves, clicking their beaters bats, plucking out some dried leaves from out of their broomsticks, or just looking lazily around themselves. Only Ron was standing at the front, looking pale and miserable, and waiting for his friend to give a shout out to start the training. Guys, Harry began hopelessly, his own nervousness getting the better of him, and he stopped mid-short, panic taking its place. What if he failed miserably? What if he couldn't teach them? I said shut up! It was Ginny. Harry turned slightly and saw her blushing, but from the raise of her chin, it was obvious she had her Gryffindor courage at its best place. Whereas Harry, thank you, he murmured to her, who only nodded in reply. Harry raised his voice slightly and said, "Now, as I was saying, if you made the team, that still does not mean you are staying in the team this year. Is that clear?" Nobody said or made a move. Harry sighed and scratched the back of his neck. This was ridiculous. I want all to split into teams. Who are signing up as beaters in one place, keepers at one, chasers at one, and we don't have seekers for obvious reasons. What are you all waiting for? Get the move on it! Everyone scrambled up into attention. Harry runs a hand through his wet hair in frustration. He looked up at the stands and saw Hermione and Luna were sitting together, talking to each other a little way, and a little way from them was Lavender Brown, holding her scarf like a lifeline, and was watching oogling after Ron. Harry chuckled under his breath. The two were too stubborn, like Neville and Luna, or like Hermione and... Did she even have someone in her life? Or him and Malfoy? Harry shook his head and looked up to see his teammates were in groups as he instructed. So far, so good. He made them to mount their brooms and make a circle fly roundly over the stadium. Harry watched them closely, jotting down some notes on the clipboard that he was holding. And thanks to Hermione's close, charming spells, the rain wasn't wetting the paper. Harry looked up again and called them to do some loops and zigzags through the air and stuff like that. All the time, Harry was writing down approvals of the people. Some of them were horrible, some decent, and some pretty well. Ron was into a decent one. Harry sighed and plopped down on the wet grass, not caring if for getting dirty and such. He looked up at the players again and giving out instructions and such. When he was satisfied with their tactics, he called them all to the ground, jotted down some notes, then stood up. He was brushed off with some grass from his robes when he saw Ron approach him. "You okay, mate?" asked Harry. "Yeah, just wanted to let you know that a snake has wandered around the stadium," said Ron carefully and looked down at his gloves. "What?" Harry's head snapped open as so quickly his neck cracked a bit, and he rubbed a hand on the offended neck. "Malfoy," Ron said simply and jerked a head over where the unmistaken blonde head was visible. Harry's stomach filled with butterflies. Heart started beating wild. He looked up, and indeed, there he was, sitting to himself with a big black umbrella over his head. "I'd like him gone if I were you, Harry." Harry frowned. "Why?" Ron shrugged and continued with some monotone voice. "Well, you know, he plays for the Slytherins. Could he be a spy or something? Couldn't he?" "Malfoy? A spy?" Harry laughed. "Nah, let him be." Ron gave him a long and worried look, then shrugged and walked away from Harry. Harry, in turn, mentally kicked himself. Let him be? Really? It wasn't something that Harry would say, but he did, and now Ron was all suspicious of him. Brilliant. Harry scratched his forehead, feeling tired suddenly. The coin in his pocket heated. He looked around carefully. Seeing as the team players were acting childishly over again, Ron was somewhere off, and he took out the coin. What a day! Harry smiled slightly. "Yeah, not the best day so far." "I know what you mean." "Do you?" "Yes, because I'd love to find out who you are, stranger. It has been months since we've started to talk, right?" "Yes." "So, don't you think it's time for me to find out about you?" Harry froze. Yes, they had known each other through the coin for months now, and Harry hasn't given him a clue who he was. He was afraid. So much has happened between them. Malfoy was free to talk to the mysterious boy about something, but Harry, he would build up an invisible wall, not wanting Harry to get closer to him. And Harry was being selfish. He wanted Malfoy. He wasn't ready to lose him yet. He had so many things to do together. So many things. I'm sorry, Malfoy, but I still can't tell you who I am because... Harry stopped. Looked sideways at Malfoy, who was still sitting to himself, looking down at his hands. "Because what?" "Because..." Harry swallowed. His hands shook as he tapped his wand on the coin once again, before placing it back into his pocket. "Because I don't want to lose you, not yet." The practice went brilliantly. Harry didn't choose anyone yet, because he still had some thinking to do. Ginny was on fire as always. She did not miss any opportunity to send the quaffle into the round hoop. And Ron only missed one goal. Dean has showed up for chasing, which he was quite good at, and there were lots of others who were good too. Harry didn't know who to choose. The rain was still coming, and Harry lifted his head. Oh boy, I lost my place again, guys. Sorry about that. The rain was still coming strong, and Harry lifted his head to feel it on his face. He was all alone in the stadium. He enjoyed his alone time a little. Mounting his broom, he kicked off the ground at full speed. The wind splashed his hair back. Splashed his hair back. I went splashed his hair back, and he left out a joyful laugh, leaving the acceleration feeling that he got whenever he'd ride the broom. He shivered lightly as he remembered of what else gave him the same joyful feelings. He stopped midair. Malfoy. He had been here when he was practicing. He turned around and searched the stands, but there was no one there. He squashed down the feelings of disappointment and swerved his broom again and started to go round the stadium. When he was satisfied with himself, he touched the ground softly and walked towards the locker rooms. A thunderstorm cracked the sky. Harry, shivering, stripped off his clothes and walked into the showers. Turning on the hot water, he started to clean himself from dirt and sweat. Then his thoughts went back to Malfoy again. They were kind of together now. They jerked each other off and they kissed. And Harry failed his small mission of finding out about Malfoy's true loyalty. Kitty! What are you doing? You're ruining my broadcast. Oh. I'm kidding. And Harry failed. Hi. My cat came to visit me. I'm sorry. Hi, Emmy. Hi. My little emerald. And Harry failed his small mission of finding out about Malfoy's true loyalties and right? But he still had time. There was still Christmas, holidays. Maybe they could spend it together. Yeah, right, Harry snorted. Highly likely. Unlikely. Harry rinsed himself off the soap and shampoo, walked out of the shower dripping wet. He walked into the lockers and started to dry himself off with a towel. Yes, they were kind of together, but whenever they'd managed to spend some alone time together, Harry would feel insecure about himself. He wasn't ready to take their relationship to the next level. He wasn't ready to come out to his friends. He knew how Ron would react to the news. He wouldn't talk to Harry at all. Dean and Seamus, Harry already knew about them, so there was nothing to pretend about. And he wasn't sure of how they'd react to Harry's news. And Neville, well, he'd be Harry's friend for so long, he could hold on to it. The only problem was Ron. Harry knew about Ron's beliefs on relationships between males. He wasn't a homophobe, nor was he against them. But he only wanted to stay clear of them. He was kind of scared in a weird way, and Harry still didn't understand why it was, and he didn't want to find out soon. The only thing Harry was going to lose because of his sexuality was losing Ron's friendship, and he didn't want it. Maybe he could persuade Hermione to give Ron a heads up before he could talk to him about it. But Hermione seemed to be really distracted these past months, and Ron was all over Lavender, and Harry was sure that their small friendly talk would be useless, because Hermione would start her passionate talk about gay rights, and Ron would start mumbling something incoherent, and then snap at Hermione, and they wouldn't talk to each other for weeks. And it'd be all because of Harry. Harry sighed and started to button up his shirt. It fit him perfectly, and Harry loved it. He loved his body too, but only when he was alone. If there was someone else in the room, then Harry would try to not expose much of his skin. Maybe he was paranoid about it, or he didn't know. But the fact remained this. He wasn't ready for the next stage of the relationship with Malfoy. What if him and Malfoy met up again in the room of requirements and everything would get out of hand? What was Harry going to do? Was he going to stop Malfoy from taking it further? Or was he going to just chuck away his insecurities and just enjoy himself for Merlin's sake? Harry groaned with a thump. His head landed on the wall. He closed his eyes and breathed softly, kicked himself mentally for his weakness and his thoughts. He didn't know why he was thinking about this now. It wasn't like him and Malfoy had a date in an hour or so. Well, okay, it wasn't a date. They had to meet each other in an hour, but it wasn't a date or anything. They had these meetings for months. And each date wasn't by their intensity. Their raw passion would make it to the surface. They couldn't hold back their hands to themselves, and Harry was positive that the next time they'd meet, he was going to run from the room. If Malfoy had anything funny to him, Harry was slammed to the wall and was being kissed in no time. At first, he was cautious, almost scared. And then the familiar scent and taste of Malfoy calmed down considerably. He kissed back with equal urge of passion. Harry let his tongue slip into his mouth, groaning as he felt the way Malfoy's tongue danced around his mouth, playing with his own. Their noses bumped, cheeks touched as Malfoy angled Harry's face up a bit and plunged his tongue deeper in Harry's mouth. Merlin. Harry liked this. Liked Malfoy being in charge for everything that happened between them. Being in charge on Harry. Harry moaned desperately. Wantonly, he jerked his hips forward and grabbed Malfoy's too, thrusting his hips up, trying to get some sort of relief from the passion and heat that was filling up his cock. Wow, what a sentence. I didn't think I was going to say that in a long time. Okay. Why couldn't they say his John? Wait, never mind. That's actually kind of worse. Oh, God. I'm sorry, I just did a throat tickle. Wow, okay. His voice broke. Well, technically. As Malfoy started to kiss him and lick his way down to Harry's neck and earlobe. Okay. Malfoy pulled back from Harry, and Harry barely opened his eyes when he was turned around, and Malfoy roughly pushed Harry face first against the wall and spoke in a low growl into his ear. Got it. This escalated from notch 3 to 100. Wowzers. Okay. It's not that I don't want to read this, but holy shit. Oh my goodness. I didn't oh my. Oh wow. Okay. One day, Potter, I'm going to fuck you so hard you won't be able to walk straight. Why do people in movies say this? Literally, you look up a movie and this is what they say. I'm serious. Like, if they're talking about, like, doing things, like, read a book. I don't know if it's in Anne Rice books, but I want to read them. I might actually put it on my podcast. Do you guys want to hear my Anne Rice books? The Interview with a Vampire? I will do that one. I will. That was my favorite. But seriously, like, I have seen it in anime, too. It was so weird. Like, everyone says this sentence, no matter what. It's so weird. It's like, it came from Europe, and then, like, the Americans just did stuff with it and, like, put it in movies and made it into a cliche. I don't know what it is. Sorry, I went on a rant. Rant over. One day, good thing it isn't today. Why? Why? I was so prepared. I had all my energy faced into having them doing it. I could have said it too. Most of the time, I'm not ready to say the notch of 0 to 100, but now I am, and they have to ruin it. Oh. Sorry. Okay. Thank you guys for watching, and I have an actual new button over there. It's only been like a couple of videos, right? That there has been popped up a new button in the corner that you can subscribe easier. Actually put the push notifications on, and you'll be always notified that when I put up a new new part to this videos kind of thing. Or I might try something new, like reading it or reading Anne Rice. It's up to you guys, and I want to hear your thoughts and what you think down below, because I always like to hear what you guys have to say. Also, right now that it's showing up on the screen and has been showing for probably the past minute or so, is my social medias. If you want to follow me, please do. I always like to hear from you guys, and I will post sometimes, or you can post on my old pictures and say, I want you to do this for this video, or you want me to react to something. I'm actually going to do something tomorrow, which might be that day that you see this, because pretty much I'm going to upload this late in the night. It's already 6:30 p.m., so, I'm going to be doing homework at the same time as doing this. So I'm going to multitask. Miss Aspenson, do not get mad at me. She's my teacher. Don't get mad at me, please. She's one of my subscribers, so I hope she doesn't get mad. She's reading my Bram Stoker's Dracula. Also, go check out that if you want to hear more of Dracula. Check out that, please. I don't know if I did good, or you want to hear any more horror stories. I love to read horror stories. I love to read creepypastas. Anything. I love to read it. If you do want to hear something, leave it down below. And if you want to have merch, let me know. Right now, I'm going to show you, like, a picture on the, I'm going to show you tomorrow, or later tonight, that what I'm wearing, and I just got it for my birthday, and I did show it in the video, but I didn't show me trying it on, and I absolutely loved it and wore it to school, and everyone didn't know who the video character was. I was so sad. Even though it's a video game character, but still, it's one of the best video games out there. Yeah. Anyways, I'm sorry for ranting. I love you guys so much. Give my subscribe button some love, and put on the post notifications, and give me a big thumbs up and destroy it. But also, just give love to the. Oh yeah, I had a shout out. Whoops. I lose my mind. I am so sorry. Kitty. She sounded like she was going to puke, and I am not cleaning that up. And I have a shout out to, who is the lucky one today? Jivo! One of my great friends is really talented, and I absolutely love them. Givo is Givo, and he does video games. And I recommend, if you like to see like Minecraft. This looks like Minecraft. Ooh, there's spawn bugs, and don't shatter on a zoo. And he does different things. Please go give him a big thumbs up, and maybe give him some pointers as well as how to do what he does better. I don't know. I'm just being me, I guess. I have no clue. But I love you guys so much. Bye-bye.